Live? We're live.
We're live?
We're live.
We're live.
All right, it's the mid-show, Tuesday, August 13th. Eddie is out today. Dave, what do you think Eddie's doing right now? What do you think he's enjoying?
He's in Wisconsin, I believe.
Somewhere like that?
Somewhere like that. I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's 2 p.m. right now. It's August. It's beautiful outside in the Midwest. I'm going to guess he's drinking a Miller Lite.
I would think that's a pretty safe bet. Great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. That's something that has never changed, is that great tasting versus less filling debate. That debate's been going on since 1975. No one has settled it. Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. It's a light beer that tastes like beer. It is kind of... We're getting to the end of the summer. You want to have those ones that just like hit because it's just a little bit too hot outside. Those Miller Lites are always refreshing. Like we said, less filling, only 96 calories. The original light beer. They invented light beer. They invented it since 1975. Everybody's coming for the crown. They've never relinquished it. Still the GOAT. Still number one. Miller Lite. Dave, where can they get it?
You can get it pretty much anywhere they sell beer. However, if you're in a pinch, they have delivery options. Just go to MillerLite.com/midshow. Pop in your zip code or whatever directives it gives you, and you can have Miller Lite to you right there, right then, right there.
Deliver it right to you, but you always want to be celebrating responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces, fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Miller Lite's premium. Miller Lite is premium. So that's the show. We're here today. Danny's over there as well. We might have a couple of guests pop in to keep it going. Danny, I actually am kind of pissed at you and Lance as well.
Damn.
Yeah, sorry. Right off the jump.
What happened?
Well, we had our stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that to just kind of die forever.
You know what? I kind of did too. Wasn't on me this time.
Yeah. So I guess that would be Lance. The finger's pointing at Lance, who's trying to.
Now I can't use those bits anymore, Lance. Next time I'm on stage, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I wanted the crowd work only. No, I'm just kidding. I'll never be on stage again.
You don't think so?
No. Like we said before, the nerves leading up is, even if you do good, I don't know if it's worth the praise.
It really is. I see, like, afterwards, I'm like, I could do that again. I will say this. I actively avoided rewatching it just because.
Yeah.
Did you do this? You didn't rewatch?
I usually like flip through to see if there's anything that I should blog upon. As soon as I realized that had made the cut for 7-7,
I was like, nope.
Click out of it.
Nope.
It's basically just the roast of White Sox, Dave.
The whole
night?
What was shown in 773.
Yeah,
TV.
of course it was. That, and
this time we were just on stage.
As bad as I was.
But
not that I was horrific, as I said.
Your words. We've talked before. You watch like a Joe Rogan or any of those stand-ups podcasts. All they talk about is how like it took them a full decade before before they were even getting like pocket change to do stand-up.
Yeah.
You hear that, it's immediately going to deter you. You really got to love it.
Speaking of which, if you know Chris Bader, Nick Turaney, or Mook, or anybody else involved with I'll call it the kidnapping of Chief and Eddie and you, Danny, and Barstool Chicago.
Danny really
we are owed some money for that appearance.
Is that a fact?
So yeah, they told us it would be lucrative for our pockets. And I want the record to show that I was asked to do this by Mook and Nick on my own, and I spread the wealth. I could have collected every cent.
Oh, come on. We would have loved to see a full hour of it instead.
See,
if I had known it was the option of give Dave more money or I have to do it, but you have to go longer, I would forego the money.
Yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Just
very
give
you the money and let you swim up there.
But I wouldn't have done it then.
Why?
So it sounds like we helped you.
Yeah. So you should actually give us your share.
No, absolutely not.
We'll split that $5 up evenly.
But now that I've sat on it, I don't think I feel the need to ever do that again. Even though I do feel like I would be much better. The nerves wouldn't be near as bad.
Well,
You'd be good in a roast, Dave.
I think if I were part of the roast as well, because it's just one off. Like you can read that off your phone. Chief, he's gay. You know?
Yeah. You would just even if you weren't being roasted and you were just one of the roastees, I still feel like Dave would get roasted more than the person being roasted.
I feel like that's always the case. I did watch part of Rogan's stand-up. It was on Netflix, I think, a week or so ago. Obviously, after we had done ours, and even watching that, I'm like, this guy sucks. Like a guy who does it professionally has probably done it 1,000 times. It's still hard for me to be like, that was really funny.
And when Nick said it, I thought that Nick was up there when he was performing at the Laugh Factory a couple weeks back. He said that he was like, he gets nervous still, and Nick doesn't strike me as a guy who like really telegraphs his nerves.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back, I do remember his voice trembling a little bit.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit. Not calling him out or anything, but like it's fucking terrifying being up there. So anybody who's shit talking on the internet, you go do it.
Yeah,
it's.
I think
it's
you
scary.
could do it. So
Eddie absolutely could.
Eddie had some
Eddie was a
stage
natural.
presence up there.
Yeah, Eddie was naturally very good at it.
I didn't start writing until like 3:00 that afternoon, and I think I would do it again, but I would want to like actually prepare. And it didn't occur to me to make fun of everybody else until it was like too late.
That's the same with me.
Like I wish I could have had Che lines in there. Che's a fucking walking joke.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. I would turn it into a roast of everybody else,
which is what everyone did to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was largely directed, but it wasn't.
How many times
solely me?
I mean, Taraney say your name?
Probably, I'd say 7 to 10.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And Mook did too, but it was just like Nick was making such a joke of it, where you'd be like, White Sox Dave, and like he would tell some joke for like 30 seconds, and then he would just pause and go, White Sox Dave.
Yeah, who else we got here? White Sox Dave.
Yeah. Do you even remember that?
Because that was after me, and after I got off stage, the weight off my shoulders and like how relaxed I felt, I was like,
have you guys ever given?
So that's when I started laughing and enjoying the evening way more.
Have you guys ever given best man speeches?
I've never given one.
I was going to say, how did it compare, Chief?
I've done that, and then I did Carl's wedding.
That's right.
Kind of like wrote a sermon, kind of.
He officiated.
Yeah, I officiated Carl's wedding.
Ironic.
I would say that this was much more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's like, because even for a best man speech, you are trying to be funny, but like the element of competition almost. You're going after Eddie, you're going before Nick, you know.
And like, no one is there to see you.
Right.
You know, so it's like,
it was let's call it what it is. It was like charity for us. Like a real stand-up is like, well, these guys shouldn't be on this stage.
No. This
10
is,
years. But it's like, it's Barstool comedy night.
Right.
You know, it's a theme.
Yeah. That's what.
See, a first man speech.
But it's like charity. But it was like, I would equate it to be like, I'm part of the charity but like go run a 10K for charity. Like, it was painful.
Yeah, it's almost like if these days a groom might have like all 3 of his brothers come up and be best men. You're like the youngest brother there on that stage for Barstool comedy.
Is that in my family growing up, and this is a small change of subject. I was always at any family wedding I grew up going to. It was never a brother or sibling that was the best man. It was always the actual best friend.
Really?
And then it was weird to me going to weddings growing up where it was a brother, and I'm like, but now it seems like, since I've been to a million weddings of my own friends, it's like more often than not the brother.
I'd say it's almost always a sibling, unless it's like, the girl is the only girl, and then it's the best friend.
The game has changed, though. Now you're getting multiple, usually.
It's too
multiple
much.
Brothers. You see the best friend and brother combo.
That's just because somebody doesn't want to like choose.
It's almost like I kind of like the brother as like a cop out instead of having to choose between like 6 of your best friends, you know.
Well, and then the other part about like what makes the best man speech easier is that you can click into the sentimental.
That's exactly what I was about to
where
say.
it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be. You can sprinkle in the jokes, but you're telling stories that you've told 100 times already, and then you have the sentiment, and then you say something nice about the bride and their family, and it's like whoosh, you're out.
The first time I saw Joey and Jackie walk into that bar holding hands, I knew they were in love. And they were going to be together for life, and you get all the fucking old people crying, and then you're done.
Yeah, dude, a sudden joke within like a sappy speech always plays. Crowd's going wild.
Yeah.
So
have you done it? Have you done Best Man?
No, but I am currently, as of this week, have 5 weddings that I'm all standing up in.
Ooh.
No best man, though.
All next summer?
Well, yeah, my brother.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
He didn't ask yet, but
The first
bull claim.
one of my friends that I think it was either first or second. Apologize to Vogues and JMO for not getting your anniversaries in line. However, one of my buddies' weddings, I was like 23. He was a year older than me, so he was very young, getting married as well. And he has a big family, and they're all boys. I want to say it's 6 kids, all boys.
Oh, the O'Doyles.
Yeah, just like that. And one of his brothers gave him the first man speech, and he was like the black sheep of the family. And, getting into some trouble. Not like bad trouble, but some trouble. He was
Stealing
boisterous and a loudmouth. And I'll never forget when they're like, all right, now, I don't even remember his name. John's up to do the best man speech. They panned both of his parents. They had a look of horror on their face because they knew he was talking about his new what was it, sister-in-law?
Yep.
Sister-in-law is a clit and everything.
Oh my
God.
It was a stand-up routine, and it was the funniest thing of all time. And
Did you think it was the funniest thing, or
I thought it was the
room?
best thing of all
or
time.
Was the room funny?
Those who
Dave was the
can
only one
laugh
laughing. They're all shrieking
those
in
who
horror.
can laugh at jokes thought it was funny.
I don't know if
I
you're
also
talking about
had no-
clits in a best man speech at a wedding.
I don't know if that ever
It
Priest
plays.
is
was
there.
A grandma will
awesome.
faint.
It was awesome. But he made it completely about himself, and it was very inappropriate and probably not the right place for that speech.
Yeah, I'd say.
However, I loved it.
What would you say? I was at a wedding a couple years ago, and the groom's dad was giving the best man, his son's best friend, a little bit of guff because he started off one of the opening lines with "motherfucker."
What do you mean, guff?
Like he was like, really? Like opening line, older
think-
people in the crowd, a little religious. If you're gonna say "motherfucker" and those are the terms, maybe wait
Nope.
towards the end.
Sorry. No, best
No,
man.
yeah,
speech,
you're not wrong. I was just, does he have?
I
right
think
to
he's
be
got
mad?
a gripe.
I don't think he's got
Yeah.
a gripe. If you don't like it, get the fuck out of the room.
Was that another?
Get the fuck out of your son's room.
Yeah.
Was
Your
that
son's
another
wedding.
one? Was that another one? North Sider marrying a South Sider. Best man had some like quote unquote trash joke about South Side. Didn't go over well with the bride side.
I bet not. They're very particular people down there.
Sometimes that's a comedic risk you got to take.
I agree. Making fun of people.
What side is the bigger group of hard asses?
Southside?
Yeah, I'd say so.
South side.
Unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
But no Northsiders ever wanted to beat up Dave. I'll say that.
It's true.
That's probably not true. Though.
Probably not. There's
Not
probably
publicly.
groups on both sides of the equator that
Yeah.
want to beat all of us up.
A little bit. Yeah,
Besides
I
me, of
bet you
course.
there's Northsiders that fucking hate Eddie, like, because just out of sheer jealousy.
Yeah, just human nature.
Yeah.
Have you ever been? How do you feel about getting asked to be an usher as opposed
I've done
to
that too.
thinking that you should be in the party?
It never really bothered me. I feel like a lot of times, or not a lot of times, I've been an usher who then walks in and stands up. So like you go and you like do your usher shit. Oh, you're a bridegroom, whatever. And then you go back and you do your walk in and you're standing up.
You're a little secluded. You're wearing a different color suit than everyone else.
Not necessarily. If you're in
Yeah.
a tux.
Yeah, usually usher. Usher has
Yeah, they are.
both ushers
actually.
have different
I-
suits.
They're like less assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Now
guess.
that I think about it,
I don't know. The usher job is just like,
it's
why even ask?
yeah.
Be like, ask me like that day. Hey, can you show people where to go?
Basically, a way of saying you're my 7th best friend.
Yeah, that's exact. That they
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
like a position, and they just created one.
I have I've been to a couple weddings where I had to stand up in, where like you're friends with a guy, but like you're not super tight.
Mm-hmm.
But he was always just like around your group, and then you're just like, hey, your wife had 2 sisters, 3 high school friends, and 4 college friends. You ran out of friends. Like that. Like that's why I got the ass. He's just trying to fill out a roster as opposed to these are my actual friends.
And it could be a pickle because sometimes they're expecting you to ask back, and it's like, dog, we were school friends.
I don't think I ever want to be asked again.
No.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah.
Well, how many of you stood up in? You tapped out or just too old?
I think. Well, I've already stood up in someone's second wedding. Second
Did you stand
time
up
around.
in the first one?
Give the same speech
no,
second time around?
The first one only had a best man and a maid of honor, so it was a very small actual. But then the second one, I think it was like 7, and I was in that one. So that was last.
That's interesting.
May.
Did he go with majority same groomsmen, or did he get some new friends since then?
I think there was one other. It was like my friend from high school and me, and then he had 3 or 4 guys that I met at the bachelor party who were like, he's a school teacher now, so I think they had taught with those guys at various stops.
So like how long in between were the 2
How long in between weddings?
Yeah.
He was like my first friend to get married. We were like 23.
Oh, okay. So probably
yeah.
a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23 or 20, something like that. It'd probably been over 10 years.
Yeah, I was telling all my friends who are recently getting engaged, like they're kind of like stressing, I can only have like 6. Who do I choose? The difference in like 2 years of like who could be making that cut and who can't, like a coworker or like even, I don't know, a new neighbor or something. It's something to think about.
Oh,
people always say like, I've said this before in a free swim, like, you don't get new friends when you're older. Sometimes those neighbors in that new house end up becoming like family friends.
Have you heard Chaps talk about his?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and that's like we have our family friends. We were talking about Crooked Lake on show yesterday was that today?
It'll be coming out tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow. Like our lake house, like my mom's best friend, and they've become like, I'm closer with them than any of like my actual cousins. They were both like the room mothers in the oldest child's preschool.
Oh, lunch ladies?
Nah, it was like
different.
I don't know what they did. I don't know what a room mother
We're
does.
doing more than just opening cartons of milk.
Yeah, I don't know if they did that at all, but they were just like in charge of like activities for the preschools, and so they've been friends since their kids were 3, and now they've been friends for like 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they'll be standing up at the next wedding.
Yeah, excited for that wedding.
What is there a cutoff? Like, hey man, like I've already been in 2 of your weddings. I've given 2 speeches. Like third one, I just can't.
Just be like, I'm doing the same material. Really best man.
I think
all
you'd
3.
be within your right to say that. Be like, hey, I'm just like copy and paste.
I got a buddy who's
Control F, take out the name, add the new name.
He just got engaged for the 3rd time. He got married once, and he's like, I'm just like it's the new fiance's first marriage. And he's just like, I can't do another wedding, so we're not doing it. We're gonna have like a little party, but we're like,
that's awesome.
I can't do another wedding.
Yeah, weddings completely fucking blow.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine.
I like
bride
weddings.
and groom. That day has to completely. Well, maybe not for chicks because they like dream of that and shit, but for the guy, it's got to be completely fucking miserable and awful.
Yeah, they dream of the next day after the wedding when it's over.
Like, get me the fuck out of here and get me a Miller Lite.
It's just like
get all these people away from me. I never want to see them again.
I think the worst part is actually just the pictures. Like, go do this, go do that, get on this bus, travel over here. We're gonna take it like, downtown at this location, and we're going to the Bean. And it's just like by the time like you're exhausted by the time you get to the reception because you're just running around.
Yeah, when it comes to like, do I even get remarried again? I had an uncle who was married like 4 times, and by the 4th time my mom was like, Ken, like you're like in your 60s, you don't have to get fucking married, just be with her.
You've seen who was the guy who just got, there was Rupert Murdoch, and then there was like another billionaire guy. I just saw it in the Daily Mail. He was 96 and he got married like for the 5th time like 6 months ago. Like she timed that great. The new but like why
I would have tried to marry him if I knew he was
yeah you gotta have
no prenup.
Yeah, weekend at Bernie's him to the courthouse.
Sign here. Yeah, that I agree. Like what's even the point?
What's the point? Just be exclusive.
I found out when it would have been my great uncle.
Just
he
be
died
96
like maybe
with 96 and friends with benefits.
Yeah.
15 years ago, and he was like nearing 100 when he passed, and I always assumed that the lady he lived with my entire life was his wife. They never got married. It was like a shock to me. I'm like, and I was a full-on not adult, but I was like 20, almost 20-ish. Probably.
That's legally. You're an adult. You're an adult.
And I went my whole childhood without realizing they just never got married.
I was calling you Aunt for nothing?
That's what I called her. That's what I called her. Everybody did.
I'm calling you Janet from now on.
That was actually her name. Her name is Ann Chan.
Shut up.
Swear to God.
I know your family too well, man.
Wow.
Now I get to meet him.
Too many stories. Yeah, I get to meet his dad.
Mm-hmm.
No, you've never heard of these guys. Actually, maybe. He was apparently a direct descendant of Daniel Boone. That's Americana stuff.
That is Americana. Speaking of weddings and family members, my sister, she showed up like an hour late for her own wedding. My now brother-in-law was like, he came up to me because I was there.
Cold feet. Yeah.
He was like, "Is she showing up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." Turns out she just she was very nervous. Got a little too high.
Wow.
Got a little too high.
You know what? I can almost guarantee that should I ever walk the plank of marriage, that I will get blasted
Responsibly,
of some sort.
Responsibly. And where would you go to get?
I hit a
Chief,
sunny
no.
side, obviously.
No, never mind.
Because we don't want to mix marriage with all that. But an hour, like, I know you're not supposed to talk to the groom beforehand, but I think you have to be like, "Hey, hon, sorry, running late."
We had... Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little heads up, we're running late kind of thing would have been nice, but like my parents had paid for bagpipers. I can't remember which one I had to pay because we had like bagpipers and then there was like a violinist or something. And one of them was like, "Hey, like I have another gig. I got another wedding later today that I got to go." I'm like, "You can't go." So he's like, "Well, then you're going to have to, I can get somebody to cover that other one, but you're going to have to pay me." So I just paid him like in the church.
Did he price gouge you?
I don't know what the price is.
Because I would have price gouged you.
I don't even remember. I just remember like going to my dad like, I think it was like $600.
So how did the rest of the reception handle the news that, "Oh, sorry, I was just really fucking..."
It was like the bridal party with her? Or
No, they all like my
so
parents.
they're waiting for them all.
Yeah, all the women came late and my dad. They all came in a limo late. But like, so my brother and I were there. And so like I had to like give an announcement at the front of the church, be like, "Hey, in case you're wondering, yes, the wedding is still on. we're gonna get there. She's on her way. There's some kind of hold up, traffic or something. I'm sure.
Yeah. She's
Second
totally
thoughts or
not
something.
just ripping a bong right now.
Yeah, I think it was just an edible. But
Ooh, that's bad.
That's risky, man.
That's
yeah,
risky.
that's how you end up being an hour late to your own wedding.
Edible on a wedding.
Yeah.
So did she like have a come down, and was she like, nice and mellow, cool?
She seemed fine.
The rest
She
of the
got
day?
married.
Yeah, they're married. They got a baby.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
She wasn't
Worked
napping at the reception though.
I was too hammered.
Did she like take a liking to the cocktail weenie plate that was going around, the bacon wrapped dates, or
She got the munchies.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or like too nervous to eat. I'm not sure. But yeah, she showed up and I'm like, fuck. Like, because they didn't tell me why she was late. They were just like, "Yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be there. Just running late." I'm like, "All right." And then she seemed like off, but I'm like, "That's her wedding. She's probably just nervous." And I go to my other sister. I'm like, "Why were you guys so late?" Like, she is high as fuck. My mom is like a square with drugs, like very anti. And even she was just like, she like couldn't calm down. So we gave her some drugs. So yeah.
That just makes it worse. Yeah. I'd be in like a full on panic attack, but
they almost had to pull the Wolf of Wall Street when they were too high on the Quaaludes.
Yeah. That would.
What do they do? I don't remember that.
Give them blow.
When they that's in the
whole
ship,
level.
right? When they're like about to sink.
When he's driving his nice ass car.
Is that when
he gets home, he's crawling on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true too. You can offset Quaaludes with copious amounts of cocaine.
In your experience?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to Quaaludes? Why are those?
They just kind of died.
They've been gone.
Okay. Yeah.
All I know him from is from like pop culture.
Yeah, I know.
Like, movies.
Yeah.
Like Almost Famous and shit.
Is he on? He was on Quaaludes.
She was.
At the end. At the end.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Bears?
I never thought you'd ask. We can fucking talk about weddings all day. I'm excited about the Bears.
The real matrimony here.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think? I mean, it's 4-7. You're like the guy who was every quarterback we've had since we've been doing this job stinks.
I'm ripping off what Dan said. I think it was on part of my take, and both what you said in your blog. I understand fully that it is 7 pass attempts against a vanilla defense in the second preseason game, but everything about that day, from his first pass through his presser to how he carried himself, and just that it's nothing that's actually tangible. It's just like a vibe and an aura and a juju. Something was different.
It never looked hard for him.
That first pass to DJ Moore, where he hit him right in the numbers on that little comeback route, and if you look from the like end zone angle, there 2 defenders were crashing in, and it was a tighter window that closed quick.
Had to be on time.
When he hit that dart and stepped into that throw, I was like, oof. I'm excited. And people are like, oh, it's one preseason. While it is, everything else matters as well. First overall pick, 3 receiver monster that he has. A good backfield, not just one running back, 2 good running backs. Nate Davis is back, so better depth on the O-line.
Hope so.
Let's hope. We talked about it on the rundown today. I don't see any reason why playoffs, while I'm not saying Super Bowl, I'm saying playoffs should be an expectation. I don't see why that's crazy. I don't see why I'm getting over my skis saying that. And that's a lot of pressure for a rookie quarterback. Obviously, not a lot of rookie quarterbacks have ever, just walked in from day one and completely lit it up. Peyton Manning's a good example. Obviously, Tom Brady had a atypical. He wasn't a first rounder; he was a late rounder. But
he rode the bench.
Not a lot of guys just step in, and I think he has a chance to at least be a good quarterback off the rip that shows flashes of being a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Instead of that quarterback that you might hope gets to average as a passer.
Which is what we've been doing.
Right.
Yeah. So that was like, can Fields be an average guy in the pocket with...
Can Trubisky be average? Right.
The little flick he had to DeAndre Swift.
Dude, that was
Mahomes.
Different. That was Mahomes.
Any other Bears quarterback Fields, he's either maybe running for 5 yards or getting sacked.
Probably
even if Fields breaks that off, which is incredible in and of itself, but I don't think you would have had the wherewithal to look for that dunk.
I think Fields is probably trying to peel out and get to the edge of the tackle box and getting sacked for 4 yards deeper than he was when Williams threw the ball.
And meanwhile, Mitch somehow would get safetied on that play.
Yeah.
I thought Mitch was better than
Lance. While Dave was talking there, you're the resident positive vibes only guy, but I saw you make a look. Is he hoping for too much here?
Dude, I think it's just always tough to be like, well, we can make the playoffs. I think there is a way that we don't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's still,
definitely.
an
Absolutely.
Season.
Absolutely.
We really grew and we saw something, but the expectations of we have to make the playoffs, I feel like are just a little intense right now, especially one preseason game. If we're give us 5 weeks into the season and then we might be like, oh shit. I think right now is really early. I will say though, I am more on the holy shit, this could be awesome. It does look different. I'm definitely getting close to there, but I'm not. I think I'm putting my win total above 7 games. That's where I was last time. I don't think playoffs. I think it's too much. Too much right now.
Playoffs. A few of the factors that go into that calculus have changed even within the last few hours. Now, it looks like the Minnesota Vikings, there's not a bad team in that division.
No,
there is not one bad team in that division. I don't know that there's an awesome team in the division, but there's not one bad team in it. And the Minnesota Vikings are now probably going to have Sam Darnold for at least a handful of weeks, at least I would guess a month.
I mean, he might have been the day one starter. Right?
He might have been, for sure. But that's at least I'm not afraid of Sam Darnold. At least there's an unknown with J.J. McCarthy. I'm not particularly afraid of him at this moment. Obviously, just hurt his knee today. But even if he didn't hurt his knee and they said, hey, he's going to be a week 1 starter, I'm not particularly scared of him at this moment. He could be great. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I know I'm not afraid of Sam Darnold. There is no element of the unknown there. He's Sam Darnold, You're
saying his name like French or something.
Darnold.
Yeah.
Darnold.
All right, so Lance, there's this thing on DraftKings called the Drive for 5.
Yes, okay? I've heard of this.
Okay, so it's how many wins they'll have after 5 games, and it's Titans, Texans, Colts, Rams, and Panthers. What would you say out of that 5?
Do you have to nail it on the dot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 0 wins is plus 2,500.
Okay.
Titans, Texans, Colts. What were the next ones?
Rams and Panthers.
I think 3 and 2. 3 and 2
Yeah,
sounds
So
good.
that's the odds-on favorite, which is
What-
plus 215 to go 3 and 2. Which I think that's very doable.
Definitely doable. You gotta if you lose to the Panthers, that's
a big red flag.
a big red flag.
Yeah.
So that's 1 win. Name the other 4.
Titans.
What are they
At
starting?
September 8th. What do you mean?
The line rather on DraftKings.
Let me pull that back up.
I think they should beat the Titans at home.
They are a 4-point favorite at home.
They should beat the Titans. That's 2.
So then it comes down to those middle 3, which is down at Houston primetime.
I'll give it to Houston.
Okay. I do think that to me is like a toss-up game. Like Houston's a good team. I don't know if they're like it's like an automatic L like when you see San Francisco on the schedule.
They're not going to go 5-0, so we got
to
find an L somewhere.
I think that would be
Yeah.
the obvious L, and then the Rams, but that game is at home, and then the Colts, like no one knows what Anthony Richardson is. He might be terrible. Like it's not like if you start 3 and 2 or 4 and 1, then it's like
what's 4 and 1 at? And can you fix that little dingleberry that's hanging off your phone, please?
No, this is
driving me nuts.
It's just like the little adapter cable. 4 wins is the next best odds is plus 230. So it's not that even that big of a difference between 3 and 4.
So they think that it's, and I would assume 2 and 3 is then after that,
Plus 330.
and then 1 and 4, and
No, then it's 5. It's plus 380, and 1 win is plus 900.
so. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm wrong often, and I'm not a math guy. In fact, I'm quite dumb. But it sounds like Vegas kind of likes the Bears based on that.
Sounds like Vegas has taken at least a lot of action on the Bears.
Oh, that's obvious.
Yeah. I don't know.
Eyes on that. Eyes equal
I
eyes.
hear you, Lance, with this like let's just pump the brakes. But then it's like when you look through the schedule, it's like I don't think there's that many teams that are better than the
They
Bears. And if they won 7 games with Justin Fields, and they brought back all the key components and then added to it, and then if you get even a slight, they got 4 games out of Tyson Bagent last year. They won 2 of them. Like I don't think it's like some outlandish thing to say 10 wins in the playoffs.
I don't think that's crazy. And I say playoffs with the admission that I'm not necessarily taking in
No, you're taking the 10
the
wins.
entire division into account.
Yeah. Or the entire the conference.
I mean, so if like Lance says, it doesn't have to be playoffs or bust for it to be a really successful season. If Williams goes out and throws for 4,025 touchdowns and 10 picks, however, Sweat got hurt and Edwards got hurt, and there was like the defense, something like that. Yes. Awesome, great season. You found your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it looks like it. But I'm not in the game to predict injuries. I'm just looking at the exact starting roster we have right now.
And only look at what you have right now.
22 guys on offense, 22 guys on defense, and that fucking Australian kid that just booms the ball.
Dude,
That's going to be a huge part of this team, too, by the way.
Also, we might have our edge rusher opposite of.
We have to talk about, I mean,
Austin Booker.
second string lineman. Yeah, I get it. He's a guy that we should be talking about more.
Still had 2.5 sacks.
Exactly.
So those guys are all pros, even if it's the backups. Like he looked fucking awesome.
But the way he got those 2.5 sacks, because now that he's been in the office and I ran into him at Little Bad Wolf, and I know I'm zeroing in on him just because I'm like, hey, I know that guy a little bit, you know? And obviously he's the only one that's had a ton of snaps the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's just pinning his ears back and going. There has been a plethora of pass rush moves, and he's been bull rushing guys.
He's a football player.
He's a football player. Now, Danny, I think it was yesterday, we were talking off camera. He's like, or it might have been Lance. It was Lance, actually. Lance is like, that guy's huge. I disagreed with that. That's a guy that has a baby face, that has, like, he's going to be able to add.
The youngest guy on the team.
He's 21 years old, and he's a kid. He's going to add physical maturity and only get better. But if they found that guy, and I would guess that not many rookie defensive linemen have ever walked in and had 10 plus snaps. I bet
10's. You say 10 sacks?
10 sacks, yeah.
That
rookies, I would bet maybe in the history of football.
I don't.
Like
that's what
5.
I agree. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you threw that number out there.
Because I think that people are starting to like Bears fans as a whole are talking about him like he's the next Simeon Rice. I don't think that's gonna. I think that if you get 5-7 sacks out of him, he's a third down guy, and then
sacks out of him, that'd be
turns into a 3-down guy next year. Like that's a developmental win for Ryan Poles, but like even
I think 7 is preposterous. I think like 4 would be a very good year,
a huge year.
Yeah.
No, 7 would be like obviously like what an incredible win in the 4th round of the last draft. And at an area of need too, but I saw that number being thrown around on Twitter. That's why I brought it up, and I'm like, I don't think anybody's like the best pass rushers ever. I don't think have 10 sacks as a rookie. Yeah. Like maybe a few Hall of Famers.
Here's the numbers for rookies. So like Micah Parsons got 13 and 21. Dwight Freeney, Reggie White, Bradley Chubb. Like these are all Julius Peppers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
you guys are like the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Shout out Peter Boulware.
Yeah, Simeon Rice. I knew he had a monster rookie year. I remember that, so that's why I threw it. But Mark Anderson. There's a throwback.
Yeah,
he had that huge rookie year.
That was
that's
an Urlacher trivia question.
Yeah,
he got it wrong. You had to get shot for that one.
Yeah, fuck Mark. Yeah.
So I'm saying temper expectations, but my God, did he look good?
Yeah,
he looked awesome, and his pursuit is I love players with pursuit. Play to the whistle.
He's a football guy.
He's a football guy.
And I will say, opening day is right around the corner. So Bears fans, another great partner of ours, another great partner of the Bears is Chevy Drive Chicago. They want to send you and a friend to that first home game. Plus the grand prize winner will also receive a gift card to help fund your tailgate or whatever you need for game day. So get your Chevy, get down to that South lot, and go to ChevyDriveChicago.com to enter to win. While you're there, you can check out the latest lineup of Chevy SUVs, the all-new Chevy Silverado. Chevy Drive Chicago is the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. I think all the boys are loading up in the Blazer. We're heading up to Wisconsin on Monday for Barstool Summer Camp. Nice little 5-hour drive in the Blazer. We'll get there like that. We'll feel safe. Plenty of storage for everybody's suitcase, whatever else you need. So Chevy Drive Chicago, can't speak highly of them enough. I obviously have had a great experience with that Blazer. I did have, because I'm not a car guy, I was like, something's rattling, something's messed up. Took it in. They had it for like 2 days. They gave the full diagnostics check. It was all in my head, of course, because Chevy is the GOAT. But like the service there was awesome. So love the people at Chevy. So if you're in the market for a new car, again, ChevyDriveChicago.com to check out all the makes and models. And while you're there, enter to win this contest. Everybody wants to be there at the start of this era. Chevy's going to send you. Go see Caleb Williams' first game at home against the Titans with ChevyDriveChicago.com. How'd you like that?
That was pretty good, Chief.
Pretty good ad
I'll
read?
give you a C.
All right.
Better than you're used to getting.
C for Chevy.
I've got another little thing of optimism here. Now I'm looking at the schedule, right? So we looked through the first 5 games. Here are the next 5. Jaguars, Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots, and then Packers. It's a good chance we go 4-1 in that next stretch.
Patriots, right? Ass. Jaguars are Jaguars.
That's in London.
Cardinals, ass. Yeah, that can throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe 3-2 again. So that'd be 6-4. That's a
that's what I mean, Lance. It's
when you break it down by 5s, and the next 5 would be Vikings, Lions, 49ers, Vikings, Lions.
That's
that one's a little
that's
the
make or break.
You kind of want to be 7-3 heading into that.
Yeah, so that's tough, and then you close it out with Seahawks and Packers again. So
they're right there.
That's a schedule you can get it done.
They're right there.
You could sneak 10 wins. You could. I don't think I would set expectations there, but I wouldn't be too shocked.
And I wouldn't be too shocked if the Bears, especially on offense, are better come November than they look in September.
Sure.
Like they're gonna the more reps, the more everything with this, and it's a new system not just for Caleb but for everybody. So there's gonna be some integration time. Hopefully they can lean on the defense at the beginning, and then it's just like I think it's okay to be optimistic. It's like I get burned on this every.
Don't tell Eddie that.
I don't. Well, Eddie's the Eeyore. I think Eddie would be more optimistic if he were doing the show with somebody else.
Probably.
Yeah.
But like I look at the Bears differently than I look at the White Sox. I feel like I have a better eye for the Bears because I take more bias away, if that makes sense. So, and I don't think 10 wins is insane Like last year, that was insane. Last year, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever you said last year, that was an insane take.
10 wins.
This year, I don't think it is.
All
I
right.
really don't think it is.
Well,
You could wear the
Danny.
hat this year.
Danny Lance,
Yes, sir.
you can get on the over for Bears win total. They took away 8.5 rather. So you're either in at 9.5 or you have to be over 7.5. And you can do that, of course, on DraftKings. So DraftKings, in a world of slot reels and blackjack deals, comes the must-play event of the summer from DraftKings Casino, featuring non-stop action and an all-star cast of games, including A-Lister, Loki's Luck. This summer, Blockbuster is the one you don't want to miss. So all new players can get $100 instantly in casino credits with just $1 wager. All players get a Blockbuster bonus every week. So sign up with code MID and grab your popcorn. It's showtime on the DraftKings Casino. This is the time of year because in the summer, I kind of like fade out, gamble responsibly, don't really bet a lot on baseball. We had soccer last week. We got soccer again coming this weekend. Football's right around the corner. You start looking at those win totals. This to me is DraftKings season.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on 9.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lance?
Yeah, I think I would do it. I like that number. I think that's a good number to place a wager on.
Damn. I mean, we were 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, but once you go through it in
That's what I
increments
mean.
of 5, once you
What
go
I
through it in
mean.
increments of 5, you kind of are like, okay, you know what, it's possible.
Thirds. First, like beginning, dog days, and end. That 1-5 game stretch. What was it? Vikings, Toys, Packers, and Niners or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
that
a
5
tough stretch right there.
Yeah, Vikings, Lions, 49ers, Vikings, Lions.
And that's at Green Bay.
That's November.
Yeah.
No, at
Yeah.
Green Bay is the last game of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
So that's at home. But even still, it's gonna be tough regardless.
And like it or not, the Packers are the Bears' daddies until proven
otherwise.
You know.
Yeah.
Our excitement aside, that's just how it is. It's the truth until the Bears prove otherwise. Caleb Williams included. So I just assume that's like pretty much 2 L's until. But this year,
I've got a hypothetical for you.
All right.
Let's say the Bears finish 6-11, but 2-0 versus Packers. How do you feel?
fuck, I don't know.
What did Caleb
No.
throw for?
Yeah, that's what matters.
Caleb throws for 3,800, just below 4,000, but still very good.
I don't
No.
want that. I
Okay.
don't want that.
No.
This-
I mean, everything. There's got to be reasons that lead to a record. If they're 6-11 because they just were ass, aside from Williams, I'm scared for the future because you only got at that point you're 3 years left of Caleb before you have to pay him. But it looks like there's holes everywhere else. Right now, it doesn't look like there are holes everywhere else. Obviously, places to shore up for sure, but
The celebration for when we finally beat the Packers and like a regular.
When's the last time they beat 'em, Mitch?
regular?
I think it was
Mitch.
December of 18.
Yeah.
When
Yep.
they clinched a division.
But that celebration for when we beat them in like a meaningless game by like 3 points is going to be borderline embarrassing.
What's the worst Packers loss? Was it Chris Conti?
We're dressing up the lines in front of the Ardens too.
Put the
gonna
helmets
be
on them.
It's going to be
We
parade.
have one. We should just, if they do that, that's the helmet that we have from what year is that?
Yeah.
We don't even know if it's 85 or
That's in
06.
Eddie's garage now. Good luck.
No, it's down.
It's an antique.
It's in this office.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought Eddie brought it home.
No, it's in this office. It's in like the storage area.
Oh.
So we should do that. We should get up in like the middle of the night and just go and put it on the Lions after they beat the Packers.
Started like a new tradition.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Every time
Yeah.
we beat the Packers.
Yeah.
Take the picture and then
And then dip out.
dip out.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a good idea. I feel
I-
like we should do that.
I
Would
don't
you think we get arrested for that?
Is that vandalism? I don't think so. It's not like you're hurting anything.
Unless we break the Lion statue, which we could.
I don't think we can climb on the lines. Speaking
How
from
heavy is that
experience.
It's probably awkward.
I helped move it into the old office. It's more awkward.
Yeah,
than
it's
it
not
is
heavy. It's just like
yeah.
large.
It's made out of Weber grills. How do you like that? How do you
fucking
like
figure.
that? Yeah.
Wow.
You got to bet on your boy Chris Sale to win the Cy Young too?
I might. What are his odds at? Can you look those up for me? I bet you. I was glancing at Fangraphs a little bit ago. I would have to say he's got to be the favorite to win it for the NL this year at this very moment. At a glance, I haven't looked at the odds, but at a glance, he leads the NL in wins, ERA, Ks per 9. The Braves are obviously good. Not winning the division right now, but they're good. Nothing.
Cy Young, he is the odds-on favorite, minus 150. Zach Wheeler is second at plus 140.
So Sale has done this in the past, and with the White Sox specifically, and he's had a Cy Young season, been the best pitcher in baseball, and then shit the bed the last 3-4 starts, and it's cost him a few Cy Youngs. He doesn't have one in his career yet, and I posed this question on Twitter the other day that if he does win it this year, and I hope he does. I'm a Chris Sale fan in spite of that he left the White Sox and everything. Not that it was his call, he was traded, but I hope he does win it because I would love to see him in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know if this is all he needs. I think he needs this, and I'm not saying 2 more Cy Youngs. I'm saying a year similar to this, probably 2 more of those, and then he's off to Cooperstown. And I think that's really fucking cool.
Goes in as Red Sox?
I think he would probably have to be.
I mean, that's where
he won the World Series there. He had his best years at the White Sox, won a World Series, and ended his career in Atlanta. But he wasn't good with Boston for most of that.
It'd be weird to have him in as with the White Sox.
Right. But those were his best years. So he might just be one of those guys that wears the blank hat.
What was that trade again?
Minkata, Kopech,
Yeah.
Luis Alexander Basabi, and some other dude who threw 102 but never did anything, was the fourth piece. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say since Chris Sale closed out the World Series for the Red Sox in 2018, and since Yoel Moncada and Michael Kopech are both busts, that the Red Sox won that trade.
Has not, last 5 appearances, hasn't given up a run.
He's on that good of a streak right now?
In his last 5 appearances, he's given up 1 hit.
That can't be right.
I'm looking at it. It was...
So they've taken him out with no hitters in 4 of those games?
He's not a starter.
Chris... Oh, you're talking about Kopech.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Chris Sale.
No.
Yeah, Kopech's looked very good for LA, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew that was going to happen. It's not like he was throwing 93 and it's like, where's his fastball? He was still with the Sox at 100. It's just he was giving up runs and, a couple tweaks here and there. And
get him to a good organization.
Yeah. He's not just a throwing in a trade after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny how that works, right?
Yeah. Beat the Yankees, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mush is back.
Oh, is it? That's fun. Let's talk about that.
Put a future on the Cubs to make the playoffs before the game yesterday.
You should have told us.
You go on the other side. You should have just bet him yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bet against him yesterday. Yeah. So that I just, as soon as I did it, I was like, I already had a bottle of bourbon that I was gonna crack and have a little celebratory drink. Couldn't do it because now it's now that I've actually put money on them and that means I believe and I'm gonna be rooting for it. Now it's the bottom's gonna fall out completely.
Probably.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chief.
Yeah.
We know who to blame.
They that side of town, they're just not very good.
It's every side.
It is every side.
Yeah.
It's every side, and it grosses me out. Danny, I wish I could have gone up to Ricketts, or I wish I could have gone up to Ricketts. I wish I would have gone up to Ricketts.
Yeah, we saw him.
What would you
saw him
have
at a Chainsmokers concert in NASCAR.
I would have
where you
said,
thought you
hey,
might see him.
As someone who actually knows how the behind-the-scenes stuff works to an extent, as a fan, I don't like what you guys are doing right now. You guys don't care about winning.
What do you think? I would have loved to have seen what his reaction to that would be if you gave him the little finger.
Security.
Yeah.
I would have been escorting his ass out. I got MB on his ass.
True.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have worked out great for us. All
right. What are you saying? He's got more status than me?
I think he might have a little bit more.
Yeah, he probably has a little
bit more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Why? Just because he's rich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it takes these days.
That works.
Billion. Yeah.
Owns the Cubs.
Are you guys excited for Camp Barstool?
I'm not going to lie. The Bobby Reeks thing is in my head a little bit.
Yeah?
How do you feel about just camping in general, Chief?
We should actually talk about that for a moment.
What?
So we opened this office, I believe, November 1st or so
something like
of
that.
2023.
Yeah.
So that was a little over 9 months ago. 10 months ago, 9 months ago. First major injury. Bobby Riggs partially tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
It shocks me.
That's the first one.
Like major injury. Obviously, Shea was in a sling, couple dings and dangs here.
Yeah, but Shea was put in a sling by Stephen Shea, thinking he could wrestle KB.
Yeah, and then
that's
a contact injury. Actually.
Right.
Yeah, first non-contact.
That's like an intentional injury.
Yeah. First that blows my mind. I would have given it at very worst a month if you would have had over under.
So now, do you think we've like checked that box?
What if?
What are the odds someone else has something catastrophic?
Comes in threes.
Yeah, it comes in threes, right?
Chief.
Those are deaths.
Look at these ankles.
Well,
I don't think those kanks are getting torn up, but
The death of an athletic career.
Yeah, but you don't really do anything here.
No.
I feel like I would say the odds-on favorite to have something would be me.
yeah.
Because I do basketball whenever we do it. I am, other than Big Cat, I am the oldest person that plays. So it's really it's down to like me or Big Cat.
It doesn't even have to be an old thing, you know?
It doesn't help.
Right, but like they say Nikki Smokes and them, they play 3 times as much as you guys. That just increases their probability of an injury.
I don't think he does. I think basically when we have basketball, if I'm in town, I'm playing.
Yeah. I don't know if they have just little pickup games throughout the week too. Nice. Imagine it happening during like a game of 21.
I used to love 21 too.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. What are you excited for Camp Barstool?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much just behind the scenes, so I'll be watching you guys compete.
Do you know any of the events we're doing? Do you have any info?
I do not actually, and if I did, I probably couldn't.
Is there going to be a blob there?
I think there is. I think it was talked about. I'm pretty sure that's locked in. You're gonna get launched on there? You think Chief will launch you to the moon?
Well,
I would love to launch him to the moon.
What if you have to take a swim test? That's how they used to do it in camp growing up. You get there's 3 levels, like your beginner.
When was the last
What's
time
the
you
one?
swam?
I avoid going in water. Actually, Arizona. That's not that counts as
Or
swimming.
floating.
Yeah,
It's not the same as going in a lake.
right. It's been a minute.
This year, I'm
Can
ready.
you do anything else? Can you do like water skiing or anything?
I can water ski.
Okay. Have you done it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When was
I've
the last
never
time you
done
did it?
It's been
I think I was like 25.
yeah,
Yeah.
just after college. That's something like I feel like water skiing is like riding a bike once you know what you
I
know.
think so.
It's
too.
more about balance.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a lifeguard.
Once you're up,
You need a boat that will just pull you right off the.
Yeah.
You can't just like slowly do it. You got to fucking go right away.
Gun it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a lifeguard. That should count for something. I don't know.
Did
if
you
it
have to
does.
give any little boys mouth to mouth ever?
I did not.
What would you
did
have
not.
done if you had to give a little boy mouth to
I
mouth?
don't know if that would have happened. But these days they have you put plastic over their mouth now. It's not skin to skin like that.
Yeah. I was certified as a lifeguard. I showed up for one day and somebody had to be rescued. So then I was just like, all right, I'm done with this.
I did not sign up for guarding lives.
Yeah.
We
I thought I was going to sit there and get tan.
didn't we have to get CPR certified in high school? I feel like that was.
It was an option. So it was my junior year at St. Charles North. And that was like your gym class. So
I remember
you had the option of doing regular gym or doing the lifeguard shit. And I chose that because I think the hours, like when
there
you
was
did
this
it,
girl in the class.
Rachel.
Yeah,
down
I
the
knew.
street.
It was,
Yeah.
Want to be partners?
Yeah. She became a doctor. Oh. Went to Notre Dame.
The one that got away.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
What'd she look like?
She's cute.
Did she have ample bust size?
No.
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 What kind of doctor was she?
I don't know, actually. I just remember
Are you going to creep on her right now? He's going to pull her up right now. He's
He's got that page bookmark.
yeah. It's probably the
No,
last
I
thing on
don't.
his phone, right?
I don't know what her last name is now.
Oh, come on.
You haven't stalked her husband to make sure that he's not better looking than you,
I'm sure he is.
more successful, funnier,
Sure.
more charming.
Sure. All of that.
I mean, he
Nah,
has to be to pull
nothing's
a doctor
pulling up.
from Notre Dame.
No, I don't think he's a doctor.
No, well, she is.
Oh,
He pulled
yeah.
her.
Yeah. I don't know.
Chief's getting W's in the chat right now.
For what?
Just for being with the chick. I don't know. You just
No, I was-
You weren't even with her.
no,
You're just getting W's.
I gotta have to get an L because never. This is when I was a short.
Did you ever talk to her?
Yeah, talk to her.
Like,
But like,
How are you?
yeah.
yeah.
My
yeah.
name's Ryan. See you later.
This is.
I know it's soon, but I love you.
I think I was still 5'2" at this point. I don't think I was talking to any girls at this point. I was still a little guy. Sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked. I don't think a girl looked at me until I was like 21.
Unless they were looking down.
Yeah. Which is, you might as well be dead. Might as well not exist.
Yeah.
Once I got above 5'7", that's when things started to click.
That's when they started.
5'7" and below, it was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm
Not a good
5'7".
mate.
5'7" and below. I still like. I was telling somebody else this story from when we were at that same NASCAR thing with Ricketts, and some driver comes out and he's like, Dave's like, that guy's a midget. Look how short he is. And we look it up. He's 5'8".
The listed height.
Program height.
Program height. You don't
Program
give yourself
height.
too much. I was 5'9", 5'10" in my programs growing up.
You put yourself at 5'10".
5'9".
Yeah.
That's fraud, man.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Frank Kaminsky, he never wanted to be. He's 6'11" and like 7/8 or something. And obviously they would just put 7 foot, and he's like, nope, 6'11".
Why wouldn't you want to be 7 feet if you're a basketball?
I think I'd want 6'11" too, because you're just on a freakishly different level when you're 7 feet and
They say
expected
Garnett
more
used
of.
to say that too. Like Garnett was always listed. He was like 7'2", but he'd be listed as 6'11". But I don't. If you're going to be a pro basketball player, I'd want 7 feet next to my name.
I don't know. You expect more.
Yeah.
Expect more of the 7-footers.
All right, anything else from the chat over there, Lance?
No, I guess shout out to Derek from the chat. That's actually his name, Derek from the chat. He was saying his brother played high school football with Caleb Williams, and he wants to reassure us that we're in good hands.
All right, love
Shout
that.
out.
I've never heard a story to the contrary.
Mhm.
Everybody that has come across Caleb Williams, I was with yesterday. I was with the old Crow guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, like Caleb parked. He had like some brand new like sports car, parked it out front earlier in the summer when he was throwing out the first pitch or whatever." And he's like, "Is that gonna be towed?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, it's not a good spot." And he's like, "All right, well, just hop in." So then they just like wheeled around like Wrigleyville looking for a parking spot with the guy. And I'm like, "So how was he?" Like, he was the fucking man.
I want to know, like, not the why. I want to know who was like we're the genesis of that. He's like this cocky locker room cancer fucking douchebag. Like, who started that rumor? It had to came from somewhere and someone.
Packers fans.
Like, what was why?
I mean, that was the other thing from polls when they were going through. They like talked to everybody at Oklahoma, talked to everybody at USC. They couldn't find anybody to talk shit about him.
And I know this is true because I've talked to in just different sports, or we talked to Fitz about this, and I know this is true from Pat Fitzgerald. Obviously, not there anymore, but he would talk to lunch ladies about a kid. And this is like, you know, a 3-star from fucking Libertyville High School, like, and then one of my old White Sox scouts, he's still with the team, not going to say his name. When they're looking at high school kids, they'll go to the like liquor store down the street and be like, "Hey, have you seen this kid? Has he bought liquor in here before?" And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that kid." Off the board, like shit like that. So when like they actually do this,
Yeah.
And I'm sure with the first overall pick in the NFL for a quarterback, you are scouring the earth to get
$100
dirt on
million
him.
guess.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
You can't be wrong on that.
Yeah.
And to not turn up any dirt at all. And like we've heard from Cole. Cole's has nothing but good things, and I trust Cole because he's a good dude. Like I he's gonna give it to you straight, you know. And I could not be more excited. When's their next game? Preseason?
This weekend.
Saturday? Sunday?
Playing the Bengals.
And I saw that, and this is something that bothered me because I'm a weirdo. I saw that they're looking to get him 45 to 55 more snaps this preseason. Why not just call it 50? It's a nice round number. It's like putting the volume at 37 on your TV.
Right.
Make it
40.
35 or 40. Am I wrong there?
You're right, David.
Thank you.
You're right.
One red flag about Poles and his staff so far this offseason and into this preseason is that number right there for me.
Okay. All
Could
right.
be worse.
Anything
I'll
else?
take that. I think that's about it.
All right.
That's
Well,
about
that's
it.
the show. See you on Thursday for some Hard Knocks recap.
Let's go.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And that's it.